Did you watch the main event from the back?
I watched it from cage side.
Oh, damn, baller.
I was waiting, man. I was like,
And what was your thoughts on that fight?
you know, I'd be interested to hear your take. I always like watching fights in person because I think when you watch it 3D or what's that called? I guess it's 3D.
On
when you
TV?
watch it, when you watch it in person compared to when you watch it on TV, you watch it on TV, it just looks faster. They
For
look
sure.
stronger. They look more powerful. They almost look
As a
more.
fighter, I'd rather
Yeah.
watch it in person
Me
because it
too.
makes them human.
That's exactly what I
Because when you
was
watch on TV, you're like, Jesus, man, how
man,
am I going
like,
to beat this
yeah.
guy? This guy looks ridiculous.
And then all of a sudden you watch a cage side and you're like, they're not that fast.
But as a viewer, I'd rather watch on TV.
100%.
Yeah.
But
I
when
get what you're saying.
When I went out there to watch the fight, they didn't look slow. They got world-class athletes, Conor and Poirier, but they looked slower. They
didn't look like superheroes.
They didn't look
it was
like
good for you
superheroes.
to see in person.
Yes. And then, obviously we saw how the fight went, but
And were you surprised by anything?
I wasn't really surprised. I mean, the only thing I was surprised about is how quickly things went south for Conor.
It went quick, right?
I thought Conor looked exactly like he needed to be. First round, he was calm, composed. He was
Landed some good
razor sharp.
shots.
He was razor sharp,
Yeah.
which that's a testament to Poirier's chin. And then all of a sudden, it was like, wait a second. His leg went out and gave out on him, and then he essentially got hit with a couple shots. And the thing about Poirier is, if you watch his fights, when he gets a guy up against the cage, he is a killer.
He's going to work.
He goes to work hard, and he's going to hit you with like 25 shots, and he's not letting up, and he doesn't get tired.
Yeah,
So-
I guess I was more. I thought Conor's boxing looked good early on. He didn't look as fluid to me as he usually does. He did say ring rust was a factor, which I definitely think so. And the leg kick, it's not like that's something new. Like, we all know about that
Yeah.
leg kick. I just don't, maybe he's just doing too much boxing or just not working on it. And what I don't want to have happen is we take credit away from Dustin Poirier, because that's
For sure.
a fantastic win.
It was phenomenal win, especially just the versatility of what he was able to do, breaking down the legs, the defense, and eating the shots from Conor, letting Conor wear himself out, and then just keeping the pressure on him. Mentally, they pointed at each other a couple times. They were talking. He was having fun in there. And then when he got up against the cage, it was a wrap. But I think, and I kind of want to do a breakdown of the difference, because if you watch the way I check those leg kicks, for me, those low leg kicks, if you try to plant and make it land
Angle
on,
out.
yeah, it really just you're planting your foot to make your leg a more solid thing to impact with his shin. Whereas me, I just pull it. I pull my knee back to my hip, or my knee back to my butt. And if you go back and watch, you can see one or two where I just pull it back. So that way it's loose, and if it hits, it just kind of smacks it instead of
Kind of rolls with it
landing.
instead of taking the damage.
Not that I am an expert at checking them. That's my way of doing it, just because I have such a boxing stance. So when my feet aren't straight,
Yeah.
my left foot is always a little bit cocked inside.
Yeah.
So for me to turn my leg out, I have that extra rotation that my brain just doesn't work that
unnatural.
way. So I just pull it out.
And were you guys all together during the press conference?
Yeah. Well, me and Conor were back on our side, and then Hooker and Poirier were on the other side.
I found Conor, some of his comments in that way, he's like, yeah, it just feels different. I don't know. He's like, I'm going to have to sit on it for a while. It doesn't feel like, a normal loss, something like that. Mm-hmm. And then you listen to Dustin Poirier, and, he goes, they brought up your name. He's like, I'll just sit out if he's the... Mm-hmm. Which to me is, and Dustin, I love you, and I paid Theo his $1,000. But I don't, if I'm Dustin, it's like if they offer you guys a title shot, it seems like that's the movement. Because if he doesn't take you, you're going to get Charles Oliveira. And if by a pure standpoint, yeah, I can understand how Charles Oliveira deserves it. Mm-hmm. But as far as like selling pay-per-views, if you're in the business of making money,
or even if you're just in the business of becoming champion too, it would be ill-advised. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a manager out there who says, hey, let your ego get involved. Don't take the fight against the guy who you have perceived as a guy who hasn't earned it. Sit out, let him go take the title shot. It's a very bad idea.
Okay.
In a sport, in a industry, and under a promotional umbrella where they don't hand out title shots like they're easy,
it's impossible.
Exactly. So,
Especially in that division.
So if he gets the opportunity, he should definitely take it. Now, then again, I'm also not over here acting like I'm one half of the world title fight either. I still need to earn it if people think I need to earn it, or Dana or whoever thinks I need to earn it, and I'm willing to do that. I don't know when, I don't know who against who, but somebody obviously in the top 4.
So if it's up to you, how would your next fight go down? Because you're ready to go right now. I'm not saying, I'm not pushing you right into camp. I'm sure you want to see your family and shit, but.
Well, for me, I would have been ready to go short notice, jump on that February 13th card against one of those guys. But for me, now it's like, since that didn't happen, or if that didn't happen, I'm going to take a solid couple weeks off, spend my time with my family, go on a vacation, take my wife on a vacation, and then I'm ready to go back. First week of March, I'm ready to hit the ground running. So May, June, and that still gives me time to fight January, May or June, and then November, December, and get 3 fights in the year and capture the title.
And if it's up to you,
year.
who's that fight in May?
It depends. It depends.
It's your pick.
If my pick, just stylistically, either I think Poirier or Gaethje. I think they both stylistically I match up really well against.
I'd love to
either
see
of those
fight
guys.
Justin Gaethje.
Yeah,
That's
I like the
fight.
Gaethje fight. I like the Gaethje fight a lot. I think, as you said, both guys who came from outside organizations, he has proven his worth. I am on my way to proving my worth,
man. And stylistically, you guys, it makes for a fun fight.
Yeah, I mean, we don't take a backward step. Both just tough guys. We're both cut from the same cloth, truthfully.
Correct.
Right? We're small town
wrestlers.
Like, it was actually cool when I went out to the first fight with him and Khabib, and I was the backup. His parents were there. I got to meet his parents, because I was just like, this is how wrestling was. It's like, oh, that's Justin Gaethje's dad. He sees my dad in the stands, and there's the other guys, mom and dad in the stands, and we're all going to wrestle each other, and it's you rub elbows with each other. You pass them when you're going to the locker room. You pass them when you're going to the bathroom. I got no problem with being cordial with these guys because it doesn't increase or decrease the likelihood of me going out there and getting my hand raised.
No, it's all good.
So.